name is Brittany Runyon. I'm 25 years old. I feel like I've never fucking had my life together. But somehow I tricked myself into believing that I did. I grew up in a household with an older brother that I knew nothing about other than he partied. I felt like my mom loved him, but turns out she didn't love us both. Just kidding. She loved us. I struggled with depression, anxiety, self-worth, super low self-esteem. I went into being a total social misfit weirdo, hated everybody around me, and had no idea how to connect to people. And now at 25, I've realized I'm making the same mistakes as my parents were, and I want to change that. So now I'm trying to learn myself and figure out who my brother is and what his experience was. So here's that process.
Yeah. And so I guess I'm Dustin Runyon. I'm 29? Yeah, 29 now. I really don't remember my childhood much. Most of it is a blur. Most of the time I was getting drunk to run away from everything. So this is kind of me taking the blinders off and trying to have a little more closure on what happened, like how things happened. Right now, everything, I keep falling into these cycles that I don't understand or that I can't catch, and I end up at the same spot over and over again. And I'm really fucking tired of it because in my head, I want to be somewhere, but in reality, I'm not. And I'm just missing the step somewhere. And so I'm hoping this can kind of provide some closure for myself. Also learn a little bit about my sister as well. You know? It's weird growing up in a house, having a sibling, and it's weird. I guess it's weird fucking having a family and not knowing your family. Like, I guess it's all weird. Yeah. And so with this, we're kind of going to go through our dad's notebook. He wrote in jail kind of all his thoughts, what he was going through. And so far, I've kind of related to way too many of the things. And his path, his upbringing is just seeming to be way too similar to mine. And we had no connection after, 9, 10 years old? Right around there. That's what I remember, is right around in there. After that, it's just dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, that's beautiful. This is so weird. I feel I'm shell-shocked. Oh, Christ.
It's about time.
We're gonna do this. So yeah, like my brother said, these first couple of things that we're recording are gonna be from our dad's journals from jail, and I've got the perspective of watching my brother kind of get caught up in alcohol, and also seeing what my father had done, and I can vouch for the fact that he wasn't close to him. So this is gonna get pretty intense. It's gonna be kind of weird. It's gonna get really weird.
Fast.
Yeah, it's gonna get weird quick, and
super emotional.
It's definitely gonna get emotional at times, and I want to be as honest about that as possible. And I want it to be real, because there's no point in doing this unless we're honest. So, sometimes we're going to have tears in our eyes, but a lot of the time we're going to be laughing at the pain because, like, what else are you going to do?
That's how we've learned to deal with it.
100%. So, welcome to this fucking shit show. Bringing to you Running from Shame and Chasing the Pain. This notebook's a while ago. It's been years I've had them. It's been years, and I have not wanted to sit down and look at these things, like, because then it's like, it's real. Everything's real. You can't pretend nothing's real when it's right in front of your face.
Yeah. Running from everything.
Yeah. This thing, for sure. Because it feels like, I don't know, I kind of feel like, is there an end to this? Can, like, it literally be, like, solved? And I don't think that's how stuff like this works. So, like, yeah.
It's just, I think, how I'm seeing things, it's just finding ways to work with it is really what it is. And then it sort of goes away.
Yeah.
That's what I'm finding out right now.
Yeah, I talked to my tax lady, and I told her about, like, kind of the way that I view myself and how I kind of always have mom's negative voice in the back of my head no matter what I do. And I was, like, telling her, I'm trying to, like, work through this, and I'm trying to, like, figure it out. And then she kind of goes through the same stuff. She's, like, I think 40, 50. And she was just like, oh, no, I had that my whole life, and I still do. It never goes away. She's like, and, your parents are never going to give you what you want them to give you. And she was like, so pretty much you just have to learn who's who in your head.
Yeah.
And she's like, you have to separate the two. And then she says, it is kind of like it is what it is. And I was like, I've gotten to that point now where I'm like, okay, I think I can try to accept that it is what it is. But that doesn't mean, like, sometimes that shit, like, I still have these days where I'm like, man, this is really, like, fucked me up. Like, and I try to, like, I don't want to be sad about it, Like, it's weird. It's weird.
So what I'm trying right now is this like 75-day hard thing that Andy Frisella is doing. Like,
okay.
So it's 75 days. You work out 2 45-minute workouts. One's got to be outside. You got to drink a gallon of water, read 10 pages of a book a day, and no cheat meals for 75 days. And so, because I was not in control, I'm trying to get back in control. And this is kind of what I'm doing to gain control, because I think that's the only way to fix it, is gaining control of myself again and understanding that I am worth it. Like, building confidence in myself. And that's what I haven't had. And so I'm trying to gain confidence so that voice in my head, I can shut him up, because I'm going to decipher between the two and understand that I don't have to listen to it. I've just been listening to it. And that fucker got me nowhere. Besides a fucking hole.
It's so stupid how, like, this stuff happens, and, like, again, like, we've said this, you don't realize it.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. Is I was just like, so reading this book, he talked about an analogy with a farmer working on his farm every day, going the same path, working on the fields. So over 10, 20 years, there's going to become ruts. And the ruts then are going to make it so that he doesn't have to really steer the tractor anymore. He can just drive it. and it'll just go where it needs to go. And so that's kind of exactly where my life was at. There wasn't any direction, and it was just going where it wanted to go, and it fucking ran right off a cliff. Ran my ass right off. And so now I get another life back, and I have to redo it. And I got to figure out what I did wrong. And that, I think those are the things. It seems really simple, but it's like if I can't stick to that, if I gain control and know where I want to go and have a more clear path of where I want to go, I'm not going to be so crazy.
That's so true.
Like,
that's so true.
I really think that's how it is. Because I need to quit thinking there's something wrong with me. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Dude, I've been obsessing that there's something wrong, and you know what it's done is put those thoughts in my head.
Yeah.
It makes me, I get consumed by it.
I have that problem too.
And then that's when I let go of control, because all I'm doing is fearful and worrying and just in my head all the time, just beating myself up. Like, that didn't work.
Yeah.
So I gotta go different route. I gotta turn that steering wheel a little bit to the left.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard because, like, see, I get caught up in that too, and I'm like, I think there is stuff wrong with me. I mean, I've been diagnosed with stuff wrong with me, and like, I know some of the problems that I have. And I just think, like, can you pull through that on your own? Like, is it possible that if something is wrong, you can do the whole thing on your own? Because people are always like, you've got to see a therapist, you got to do this and that. And I mean, I think that probably speeds up the process. But I'm like, at what point, like, is something wrong? Or, kind of where you're at, or it's like, am I thinking about this too much? I really don't know. But then, yeah, I just, I don't know. I don't know. I've got no fucking idea.
Try to be open to doing new things to see if it's possible. That's the only way you're gonna know. That's the only way I'm gonna know, is by trying new things.
Well, it's so silly because even with performing in that, being in front of people, I used to it would fucking turn me into a shaking pile of fucking bones. Like, I'm like so anxious, so like I can't do this. And then I don't know, the way I got over that was like, all right, let me just get on stage in front of people and perform. And like, it was kind of the quick way to like rip the fucking band-aid off and be like, you can't be scared because you're gonna make an ass out of yourself. It's like, would you rather be scared and push through, or totally embarrass the fuck out of yourself and live with that? And I'm like, I can't look like an idiot. Like,
yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how to do that with the rest of my life, and not just the performing thing. And this is like a personal thing, like a revelation that I had the other day that I haven't talked about. Is like being in a relationship with someone. Like, growing up, I was like, I just want to be in my room. I want to be away from everybody. I don't want anything to do with anyone because I can't trust anybody. If I leave this room, I'm going to get fucking yelled at. So it's like, put in my head, just stay in your own lane, stay in your space, like, just kind of push everybody away. And I'm like, I've been dating this person for 3 years. Like, we're really close. Everything's fucking cool. But then for some reason, I'm mad about nothing. Some reason, I'm annoyed about fucking nothing. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, what is wrong with me? Like, why can't I just be okay? And then the other day, I was like, I need to face this because, like, it's not someone else. It's not them, it's me.
Dude. Dude.
Yeah. Aww.
I just did it because
Yeah.
I'm understanding that I am a good person and that I do
Yeah.
like to do nice things for people. And that is me, and I'm not afraid to do that. And I've been afraid to do that.
Well, I think I know why we're afraid to do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Also,
Well,
what helped was just Wilson's mom has a little blog. I probably should share that with you. You'd probably enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely.
She just had a post about shoveling snow for people, like back home, like when they were growing up, they would always shovel their neighbor's snow and then theirs. And it was just kind of cool. She talked about just doing something nice for the sake of doing something nice.
Yep.
And so that day, I come out, I see this guy, we're on the 3rd floor, he has a fucked up finger, and he's got to carry this huge milk crate full of tools downstairs. I was like, you need help? And he's like, are you serious?
Aww.
I was like, yeah. I was like, I'll take one end, you take the other.
Aw, that's fucking awesome.
Dude. And so it's a choice. It's like, because like I'm doing all these other things, and so I'm building confidence in myself, knowing that I have the ability to do these things. It's just I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
I think that's like a problem for like everybody, and like a problem especially if you went through traumatic stuff, because you're expecting the worst, so you don't even bother in the first place. Like,
yeah, that's what it is.
Your defenses are up because you're so ready for it to blow up in your face that you're ruining it because you're not even getting involved. I had to think about that. Like, I had to really sit and think about that. And like, I haven't even talked to him about it. And I was like, this is some shit that I've got to work through. So basically, hold on, let me jump back real quick.
So what are you doing to deal with it?
So like, I literally was like, I had all these feelings come over me, and I really sat with myself and I was like, what am I feeling in this moment with this person, and why? Like, where is this coming from? And then I was like, let's try a bizarre little experiment right now. I was like, switch your thinking. Totally switch your thinking. Start thinking, wow, this person fucking stuck around. This person is my friend. This person cares about me. This person has seen me at probably my worst. And it, like, sits down with me and we can have the best conversations that I've ever had with anybody. And like, I'm like, why do I demonize these people in my head? Why? And you realize, oh, because mommy and daddy never gave you the fucking validation you needed as a child to grow up and have healthy relationships with other human beings. So, you've gotta, at some point, sit back and think, at what point is it me, and when do you work on you? And that time's come.
But the thing is, we always say it's come, and then it goes away, and so it's hard sticking with things.
That's true. It can be really easy to get wrapped back up into old habits, which is why, like, it's a behavioral problem, and that's why you actually have to actively work on it, which is why you need structure and discipline, because if you start enabling that control in one place, it does carry over. And it's so stupid because, like, there are things that I do in my life that show me this. And yet I get sucked back into old thoughts and patterns and habits, and I'm like, everything's fucking terrible, it all sucks, I'm never gonna fucking succeed. And it's like, okay, you just get the fuck up and stop thinking that and do one of the 400 things you are thinking you want to do. Like,
yep.
that's an option. That's a fucking option. We're still waiting for someone to tell us it's fine.
That's why I'm doing this. So I don't need permission. I'm tired of waiting for it. I've waited 29 years. And I haven't got it. Still.
I'm so dumb. Because, like, I think one of these days I'll share something with Mom and she'll say, I'm so proud of you.
Not happening.
No. So, like, I don't know why.
Yeah.
And it hurts my feelings all over again.
Yeah, it sucks.
I'm like, why am I bothering? Like, I can't control that. And I know that. So why don't I control what I can control? Like, it's...
I really think it just takes time, though. Because, like, with me, because I have to learn the hard way with everything.
Same.
I have to let life, unfold to see these things.
I think that's like what life's about, though, too.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody in this world that feels like they've gotten. I mean, okay, so it might exist, but I don't think there's many people in the world that feel like they've gotten the quote unquote golden ticket and everything's been fine. Like, at some point, you're gonna like hit problems and personal issues and something, so that, but like, life isn't all good, but it also isn't all bad. So like, you just, I don't know, you have to try to learn from whatever the hell is happening, and I don't know, go from there, I guess. Yeah.
Learning. That's all life is.
It really is, but it's, see, this is where like the whole trauma thing comes in, and having past experiences. I think when I wrote you that text message, kind of explaining like mental illness, sometimes it is directly from trauma and experiences, and it's like, that's why sometimes I think I have a harder time just completely letting go, because it's like, this is the shit that gave me the problem in the first place. So it's like I'm still connected to it, because I'm like, if this just didn't fucking happen, who would I be right now? Like, would I be fucking like normal and like going to college? Would I be a fucking nurse right now? Like, who would I be?
Can you control that?
You mean like who I am now?
Wondering who you could be if all these things were perfect.
No, I definitely can't change that shit. But I don't know. But this is my problem.
Yeah, I wouldn't be like. Yeah, I beat myself up, but like, it's just, you can only do it so much.
I can do it a lot.
Yeah, I can too, and I finally got sick of it. Because it hurts.
It does.
I can't live like that. And I just, like, can't put myself back into the same predicaments because I was making the same choices, doing the same things. I was, like, in all my terrible habits. And so I've got to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Somehow. And so?
Yeah. So you ready for the dive into this one little write-up that Dad has?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess it really...
Turn your autofocus off.
I can't.
God, because it is going
I'll stop
crazy.
I'll stop moving. I'll try. Alright, let me just sit. I'll sit. I'm just... I've got all these feelings, you know?
Alright.
Alright. That's the one thing about this camera. That's the one thing you can't change it at all. All right. All right. Here we go. Oh, Lord be with us.
Just like that.
Alright, it's titled Life Story. He says, I was young, living in Arizona. We had a big family. We were poor, but we always seemed to have just enough. We had fun for the most part. Seen some crazy things, but enjoyed most of my childhood until 9 years old. Then it all went to hell. It all went to hell fast. Moved to foster homes in Arizona, then got back with our mother and moved to Maryland. Drove the whole way with my brothers in the back of a pickup truck for like 4 days. Lived with grandparents for a while, then more foster homes, a lot of them group homes. All of it ended up in York, PA. Got adopted with 5 other brothers and sisters. We were there for 4 years. Got abused a lot, physical and mental. A lot of bad shit went down there. We got out, and I went to another home. I got separated from the rest of the kids and went to Mannheim, PA for about 2 years. Foster home. See, some things are like a little messed up. The people were okay. So he's saying foster home. The people were okay, but they wanted to adopt me. I didn't want their last name. I wanted my original last name. They said no, so I said no. And I got out of there and ended up in South Williamsport, another foster home. I was 16 years old. Okay, and he has a little arrow before I turn the page. When he got separated from the rest of his siblings, he has a little arrow that says started smoking cigs, drinking, and pot.
At what age?
So, let me double check on the age. So, like, probably 13, 14, 15, 16. Does it sound a little familiar?
It's just all too crazy.
Alright, I'm going to turn the page. Okay, so he says, so it was 13 or 14, I think. And then he ended up in South Williamsport when he was 16 years old. Then I really started partying, doing drugs every day before school, then at school, drinking in school, just partying all the time. Started, again, like some of his writing is like kind of messed up, but I'll try my best. Started getting busted for drinking, underage drinking, a lot of stealing, just a lot of dumb things. You ready for the next one? Went to juvie for a while. Then did some time at a place called STS, Specialized Treatment Services, for over a year. But before it all got too bad, the guy, my foster parent, wanted to adopt me. I told him the same thing. I want my name back. We talked and we came up with an idea. His name was Rundio, and I wanted Runyon. He said if I would have at least his middle name, which was Lewis, and I wanted to change my middle name. So I did, but my father's name was Lewis, so that was good with him. So we did it. So I kept partying, but not serious trouble. Met my first wife, got a job for real, got going, kept partying, do what I do, and take care of things too. Didn't get married for a while though. So this is mom that he's talking about now. I think. Or no. I can't remember if Mom was his second wife. Because I don't remember if he was married to that one chick.
Oh, I don't think
remember?
so. I don't think so.
Okay, so maybe he is then definitely talking about Mom, because he has another child.
He was like 20, 21, I think.
Oh yeah, he's in between us.
Yeah. Wait, what does that mean?
He would be our middle sibling.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought. Are you sure?
No. Yeah, he definitely didn't come after both of us.
Or before me?
He's definitely not before you.
Okay.
I don't think. No, I think you were the first. We'll have to double check on that.
I'm not sure.
But I'm pretty sure it was in between us, but I'm not 100%. Okay, so he says he didn't get married for a while, though, and she asked me and my son, and okay, yeah, he writes like, I think his thoughts are moving so fast.
Yep. That you can't get them out fast enough.
Yeah, and he's writing things a little, yeah.
Because this is me, like, when I stop and like take a second and write a little nicer.
Well, his isn't just the way it's written, it's also like, instead of saying I walked down the street today, he'll be like, I walked street today. Like, yeah. So he's like, in his head it's reeling so quick that he's like quickly fucking.
Yep.
Okay, so he says, I didn't get married for a while though, and she asked me, had my son, and paying bills, taking care of things, still drinking and smoking, got to jail, some more small things, mostly a lot around my drinking, but got my shit together for a long time to raise a family, always fighting with the wife about some dumb things. Got married. I didn't know this next part. Got arrested on my wedding night. But that didn't seem to surprise anyone. Couple of laughs and another kid later. And eventually a lot of sleeping on the sofa. Moved out, went to jail for child support. Back and forth from wife to sister's house. Got my own place, got another DUI. Worked for a couple more years, quit that job. Met my second wife, between her place and mine, under bridges, in the woods, in garages, wherever we could for the most part. We were good with that. So they were like living in those different places.
That was Vicky, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Moved with my sister in Milton, stayed for a while. Me and my second wife, Vicky, we moved to Pottsville for 15 or so months because nobody in my family liked us together besides my daughter. We lived up there, happy, no problems for the most part, drank a lot, had the best times of my life, and then she passed. Things went to hell, everything gone. Stopped caring, stopped a lot of things as long as my kids were good, screw the rest. Haven't had friends for a long time, so that's done. I've been in and out of jail mostly, in and out of sight of mind, right, so there I am. Yeah.
He just keeps losing it.
Yeah. It's hard, like, I'm like, you know, we'll if this goes out in audio, like, Dustin's tearing up. I had my moment when I read this the other day of tearing up, which I think is good because like one of us can get all sad.
Yeah.
Someone's gotta hang in. Someone's gotta hang in there and be strong. Which is another thing I realized I do. I deflect sadness with humor a lot.
All the time.
Yeah. But I read that and I just was like, holy shit. Like, one, the similarities of you two.
It's so scary.
It's unbelievable. Like, I mean, not really unbelievable in the sense of like, this could never happen. I couldn't imagine this, but
it was pretty identical. Like, for the most part.
Yeah.
Minus getting shipped around. I at least didn't have to deal with that.
Our parents were both adopted, and they made damn sure that we at least stayed in the same house. So that's pretty cool. that's a positive to look at for sure.
Seeing like those are the types of things that I think about now, and it's like I can't be mad at someone like that went through that.
I know.
I can't put blame on somebody who had to go through that.
I know. I just...
That's way worse than I had to do.
I know, and like, what... I was just talking about this earlier, and it's really hard because, you know, we didn't have as crazy of shit happen, of course, but like we still definitely had our fair share. And the one thing that I look back now and think is I really wish I knew what was going on in Dad's head when we were really little and him and Mom started like separating and kind of just being officially done, because it seems like, and after reading that, I feel like I shouldn't have to say this, but like, no judgment on Dad for what I'm about to say that he said to me, but there's two ways you can take it, and I'm choosing to take it in a really loving way because I think that's how he means it. But he had said to me, you know, if I didn't have you kids, and he said this to me my whole life, whether he's in or out of my life, he's like, if I didn't have you two here, I'd have been gone a long time ago. And like, I like get happy. It makes me want to cry. I'm like happy to know that, and it feels good to know that. But then the other part of me is like sad because I think he knew what it was like to be tossed around, and he knew what it was like to not be loved by like your parents. And I just thought like he didn't give up on us, but like he didn't take us from Mom. He didn't choose to just say like, okay, I'm really gonna stand up this time and I'm gonna fucking get my kids. Like, and I try not to think too much on that because like, you know, I'm 25, you're 29, like there's nothing that we can change about any of this, but I'm just like, what was going on in his head that he like, if he loved us that much and like us just being alive was enough for him, I don't know. So that like gets me kind of down sometimes, and I just think like, why couldn't he pull through for us then? Like, but he has so much shit that he's never been able to face in his life and deal with. So like, why the fuck would I expect him to just all of a sudden get it and be like, okay, I can be your guys' dad? Like, I just clearly wasn't how that was gonna work. I don't know.
Nope.
And you know, the one thing, I mean, like I try to pay attention to what, like not quote unquote professionals are saying, but like I try to pay attention in all these different podcasts I listen to about mental health and mental illness. I try to pay attention to the different things that they say, and I think I just lost my train of thought. My brain's like, this is too traumatic. Do you have that?
Dude, so that's why I have no, like, it's really hard for me to have the memories.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet because that's all I have is the explosions. That's the last thing I remember. There's a big explosion and that's it. And so, like, things will come back to me every now and again, but, like, it's a very, very slow process.
Yeah. Okay, I think I got it back now. Okay. So, like, how you and Dad are, like, pretty much clones. I thought about in the notebook how he says, like, he was emotionally and physically abused. And I thought, like, it's easy, I guess, to think if that was happening to him, he would know to stay away from people like that. You would think, like, if something happens to you, it's like, don't be around people like that anymore. But what they're kind of saying now is that when you go through a trauma in your younger years and then you haven't healed from it to learn the proper way to be in the world and for yourself, you'll attract those same people with those same problems, and it will keep going until you realize, like, it's not that you're doing something wrong, you just aren't aware of what you can and can't do and how to make it.
Yeah, you're not aware of what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's, like, where I just got to.
Well, I think that's why Dad ended up with someone like Mom. You know? Like, and I'm not gonna just be like, Mom is the reason for all of this, because that's not how that works. Nobody's the only reason that this happened. But, like, that's why Dad was attracted to someone like her, because he was used to being emotionally abused and told nothing you do is enough. And he's like, this feels like what I'm used to. This is what I deserve. So I'm going to stay and do this. That's my assumption. So, like, then I think about that and I'm like, that kind of makes me a little bummed out. But yeah, I think Dad never had, like, the confidence, the self-esteem. It was never put into him. It was never built up. So then I think, like, well, of course he would never think he could have his 2 kids. Of course he would never think, I could do this. Why would he? He's never been told he could. So, like, yeah.
We're very, very, very similar.
Yeah.
That's why, like, this notebook thing stuck out so much. Because the first paragraph will forever stick with me.
Yeah. That drawing is what got me, dude.
Which one? I didn't see that.
I showed you it. You remember if I showed you.
Oh, yeah. You sent the picture.
Like the landmine.
Yeah.
That stuck with me because it's a little box. A little box with a little stick figure labeled me, referring to him, and little garbage bags. And the box is labeled trash. And I thought, yep, that's how I feel. Like, that's it. And, you know, you feel like you're totally on the outside. And that's why he's got this wall here with fucking landmines and traps. And the wall is on fire with barbed wire. Like, I totally get that. I totally get that.
That's what scared me, was like how much I related to that exact picture in that exact moment. But I don't feel that way as much right now.
I think that means that you're taking healthy steps to a better you. I think that's
I do feel much better about this path that I'm trying, because I've tried a lot. I've tried quite a few, and none of them have worked.
Yeah.
And that's what it's like, building confidence and having discipline.
Yeah, I mean, and that was, and I mean, we had discipline at home, but like barely, because you just did whatever the fuck you wanted.
Yeah, because I was being disciplined all the time.
So like, here's the weird thing, dude. This is like a weird thing that I'm trying to figure out. It's what I've struggled with for like ever, which is kind of why I wish your memories were a little bit stronger with you. Is like, in my eyes, I don't know what it was like for your perspective, but in my eyes, I literally always thought like, why is Dustin allowed to do so much shit? And by so much shit, I mean like just actually have like friends and leave the house. And like, mom wanted us to do chores and stuff, and like dishes and that.
Yeah, and I did them all the time.
Well, that was the thing. So like okay, so yeah, you did do that.
I do remember all the dumb shit I had to do and all the cleaning I had to do. I did do a lot of all of that.
Would mom ever like ridicule you while you're doing it?
I don't remember. I'm guessing she did, because I do it to Christine and I don't even realize it. Because I don't ever have anything nice to say like after she cleans. I find like something wrong. And it's so fucked up.
Yeah, that's mom. So mom definitely got to you.
Yeah.
So like,
I just caught that like probably a couple weeks ago.
Oh Jesus. Yeah. I think we definitely have the same things, but in a little bit of different ways, because like, yeah, the way that we like experienced them, we just took them differently.
Mm-hmm.
And like, so I mean, I got to the point where you just kept you. I think you also got rewarded. So you were like, I'm getting ridiculed, but like, I'm still able to leave. So like,
there's a system. I've always been good at picking systems out in life and seeing how they work, and then being able to use them to my advantage.
I know. I didn't get that. But also, mom, she would deny this.
I did get in a lot of trouble though, all the time. And I was grounded a lot.
Yeah.
And I got everything taken from me all the time.
Yeah.
I didn't have a cell phone until I could afford one. Yeah. I didn't have like a lot of things until I could afford them on my own. That was like where I was like stuck.
Well, I remember mom saying that at like 14 you had a job and you had to buy your own school clothes and shit.
Yeah, that's why I got picking corn early. So I could have some clothes.
That's so crazy. There's a few reasons why that's crazy.
I'm glad now.
Well, right. But I'm gonna be
negative. Yeah, of course.
Like, it's so crazy because like I know that builds character and like that's all like cool and all, but mom was also getting child support from dad and chasing him down for every last fucking thing.
Yeah.
So where'd that money go?
To her needs? No, she gave us a house and everything. So like, I don't know. Like, go back to the childhood of being shipped around. Could you imagine? I fucking would never want to experience that. I know how it felt in the back of an extradition bus, being shipped from jail to state to state. Like, I'm sure it's something similar to that.
Yeah. Maybe that's why people hate millennials, because they're like me, and I'm like...
It's your fault.
Yeah, it's the fucking youth I'm the problem. I think what it is like, we're realizing the newer generations we're all becoming super sensitive, but like the older generations see it as a problem. Well, they see it as a problem because like we're growing a bunch of fucking weak pussies out here, and it's like, no, I think we're realizing that like we don't have to continue traumatizing other people in the world anymore. Like, everyone can be pretty happy and content. Like, we don't have to let people hurt anymore. Like, mental illness, you should be able to talk about it. If something happened to you and it made you feel a certain way, like, you should be able to talk about it. Like, I don't know, but then I think there is something to say about people that you hear their grandfather walked 10 miles in the snow to get to work. Like, you're always like, damn, that guy's a badass dude. And you hear somebody that's like, I didn't have a car until I was 16. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, yeah, I don't know. I guess, yeah, I have mommy issues for sure. I got mommy issues. I got daddy issues. I definitely do. But you know, the one thing I was gonna say is like, I remember this. At least this is what I think I remember. You know, one day I had a conversation with Mom. We were sitting on the steps at the house, and I was like, I just feel like you don't like me. I was like, I feel like you really hate me. I feel like you just don't love me. Sentiment of that. And she goes, I just feel like you put your father on a pedestal and you love him more than me and this and that. And I was like, she's like, sometimes I get so mad at you because you remind me of your father, or you look like your father or something. And I just thought, like, I just remember crying and running to my room and being like, what? So that kind of like set the tone for me to just fucking hate myself, because I'm like, Mom hates Dad. Dad's a terrible person to her, and he's got all these problems, and here I am. I remind her of him, and I'm a problem. And then fast forward, I do the dishes. I better never fucking see you use that much fucking soap again. Okay. These fucking dishes aren't even fucking clean. Scrub the bathtub for half an hour. That's fucking still dirty. You fucking missed a spot on the fucking toilet seat. Alright. You know? So yeah, I'm a little butthurt about it. But
I get it.
Yeah.
It's just, are you gonna let the butthurt control you?
No, it took me 7 years of smoking a lot of weed and not talking to Mom for 3 to 4 of those years. And then getting to a point where I made a lot of really dumb choices and put myself in dumb situations, and then started looking at myself, and I was like, I gotta wake up. I gotta recognize what I'm doing, and I've gotta make a choice of, am I gonna continue to be this person that makes stupid decisions, or am I gonna fucking put my head down and do what I need to do? So yeah, you know.
Learning's the hardest part.
I know.
And then implementing what you learned and sticking to it.
Okay, here's another part of his notebook, it says D and A, negative impact, and I'm guessing it means drugs and alcohol. He says drugs and alcohol, I don't think have really infected me like it took me over. I choose to do what I do because that's what I do. I abuse because, yeah. I think we both have a little bit of that personality.
You're not gonna tell me.
Yep. I abuse because that my head, I think he means that's my head meds. I think the worst thing,
that's my head med. Okay. Yeah.
I think the worst thing is that I've been in jail too many times because of drinking, and for the most part, that hurts me the most of any of my family. Now that I don't live with my kids anymore, nobody really worries about it anymore, so neither do I. It sucks, but sometimes it's a place to live and work. I understand that. There has been many times things go bad because of it. He has, like, in quotes, drinking. And DUIs suck. I really don't want to hurt anyone because of it. I'm glad that never happened. But the rest of whatever, maybe it just means like the rest whatever. If I control it or not, most of life is gonna suck anyway. If I'm drinking or not, I have a problem with people, or people have a problem with me. I heard that I have a drinking problem from people. Why? Because it is a good reason to blame if I have a problem. That is cause of everything, even all the shit other people have. So I can be their reason for the way they are. And he's talking about mom when he says that, though. And he says, I'm not 100% sure how to do that, but one of the hardest things is feeling good about me and caring what happens to me. If I can find me and figure out a reason or reasons to even bother with the answers or cure or whatever it is called, I feel broken and I'm not sure. I feel broken and no many pieces of me left.
No more.
Not many pieces of me left to even bother with until I can change that and nothing else matters. There was another one. There was another one that he wrote that I was like, holy shit. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it.
Why are you skipping around?
Because he does.
Oh.
There's
he doesn't write in order?
Well, he does, but there's all these different parts and sections. And there's one. Okay, this one is it, I think. This one's pretty intense, too.
Jesus.
But yeah. Yeah. Do you want to tell the world how you're feeling?
It's just, I don't really know. Like, it's super emotional, but like, I finally feel like I might be doing the right thing for once.
Yeah.
And so, like, hearing this just helps me understand that that's not where I want to be. And he's making a choice. He doesn't understand he's making a choice because he's living it. And now that I get to see it written down and to see that he's doing it, if he's doing it, I don't have to do it. Like, that's my choice.
Yeah.
And so I want to try some things differently and just see how I feel afterwards, because I always think we're in more control than we think we are.
It's hard.
I'm like super stuck on that for some reason. I just believe that we can do more than we think we can and fix more than we think we can.
Yeah, I found myself having that thought too, actually, and that's why when I said earlier of like, can you really help yourself get through all of this shit, or do you actually have to go pay somebody? Like, like, what are we capable of? And yeah, so
That's where teamwork comes in.
I know. Well,
that's why I think we can.
Well, I can tell you that, one of the things that people will say that helps them the most is like speaking about what they went through and just getting it out. And it doesn't change anything, but it's like you're no longer holding on to it and like hiding these parts of yourself anymore. It's like
it's actually very helpful, especially for me.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
I've noticed that when we talk about this stuff, it just, I don't know, it does seem like I feel like slowly but surely, like this is finally me getting closure on everything in like probably like the only way we can. Like mom and dad they're not gonna turn around one day and like it's gonna be different.
Yeah.
So like
it's up to us.
Yeah, and like I guess in a way like that is like the really cool thing is like it sucks that we went through the shit that we went through, but also it's like cool that we both went through this shit because then we can bounce stuff off of each other of like, oh no, this is happening to me too, and this is what to look out for and what to try to do. Yeah. Ain't life grand?
Yeah.
Do you want to read? Do you want me to read the next one, or do you want to?
Is it too intense or what?
Well, I don't know. It's pretty hectic, I think.
All right, let's do it. Let's do that one, and then.
All right. Because like I've read this, so I've had my moments of like where you just can't help but to just tear up. And it's just Okay, this one is called Attempting to Change.
Yep, this is going to describe everything. I already know it. This is going to be every problem that I've ever had.
That's so weird that you say that. Because it might be. I mean, yeah, alright. Okay. What the fuck is wrong with us? Alright. Okay. I don't really know what the deal is with my drinking. I think I have a problem. Sometime, depending on where I am drinking, or hanging out, or just visiting, I want to get it done and leave. Don't need to hang out and visit for nothing. I've tried all of it. Even tried not drinking around my family. No matter what it was, never good enough. Talking about mom. I don't think it was me drinking. It was I wasn't doing what they wanted me to do. So I think he's also talking about his sisters when he says they, because like I think everyone wanted him to kind of chill out on his drinking. I think.
Oh yeah, there's probably multiple times.
Yeah. There were times that I would be tired or had something else to do, and I would be asked to help someone or do something for someone. Sometimes I would say no, and then here it comes. I would be offered alcohol from the same people that would be bitching at me for drinking. Don't make no sense. Just don't make no sense. As for my ex-wife bitching, I would drink a 12-pack a week and still get bitched at. There were no way out. So it means there was no way out. But to do what I was told to do. I really don't know how long I was clean and dry, but there's been times I was, shit still was the same, so nothing changed, with or without drinking. I was at rehabs, not sure what the name was, it's been a while. Halfway house, I've done meetings for a long time, went to counseling on my own, or court ordered, both. It didn't change my ways or change my mind of things, like drinking. I've done stupid things while I was drinking, but I've done stupid things while I was not drinking. But as far as, so he's like, went to counseling, court ordered and on his own. Let's see. Alright. But as far as the longest time clean, would be the times in jail or rehab. Because of the halfway house, we were all drinking and doing drugs while we were there. Or when I quit drinking, I might smoke a little or have a drink once in a while. But for the last couple years, I had to drink to get out of bed. I couldn't function without a drink. My body needed to live, and I really couldn't get out of bed without shaking, puking. My skin was going crazy, couldn't eat. The only thing was drinking a lot of water until I got a drink so I could move around. That was the end of that one.
It's just crazy. Because, like, so when he talks about these things, it, like, that's what's bringing up memories. It's memories of, like, me doing those things.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just thinking back to when I lived on Broad Street and literally drank every day. Every day, all the time.
Like, all day, every day?
Like, as I woke up,
wow.
I was drinking. Like, yeah, I literally did that for a while. That's when everyone started hating me. And then I got kicked out of there. Got in a fight with A4 and all them. That was like the only time. This shit blew up. Everyone's like, this kid's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are when you're drunk.
But you didn't have any idea that you were.
I was just doing. I was doing what I do.
Oh.
That was it.
Uh-oh.
That was like exactly what I would say. Like, to a T, almost.
Uh-oh. God. Wow. I mean, I remember, like, knowing you drank, I knew that you got fucked up a lot, but I definitely didn't know that whole time you were over there that you were, like, always drinking.
Oh, yeah. It was pretty awesome.
I remember... I remember, what was it? I think I just blacked out again. I don't know, I just remember, like...
Isn't it weird how that happens? It's because you feel like something's, like, watching you or, like, is gonna say something because you're gonna say it, and so it just disappears.
Oh, it's weird. It's like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's like sometimes when you start thinking about shit like this, it's almost. I do kind of think it's almost like your brain is like, no, click. Like, I just, it's a lot to take in. which is why, I mean, maybe partly why you were the way that you were, but also, like, it could just be genetic. It literally could just be that it's in the genetics coupled with mom's issues just helped all of our problems to flourish in our personalities. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
But it doesn't affect us being able to change some things.
I mean, to be realistic, I think we've changed a lot, though. So far.
Again, I would say I didn't.
But you're not drinking every day. You got the fuck out of fucking shitty-ass Williamsport. Like, unless you're like, this is where I tell my sister I'm a raging alcoholic still.
Nah. I don't like drinking really much at all. Like, I'll have a drink, but it's just not exciting.
Yeah, I don't do it, but when I do it, I make sure I do
it. Yeah, that right there is probably genetic.
Yeah, probably. Because
that's
like if
built
I go to a
in.
bar, huh?
I said that's just built into us.
Yeah, because if I go to a bar, people are like, I'm just gonna have a beer. I'm like, give me 3 shots of Southern Comfort and lime. I'm like, are you just gonna take all this right now? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, duh.
Why not?
I don't want to sip on it.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not gonna sit here and like drink a beer and get all full and have all these wasted carbs. Might as well take a quick shot of lime juice and fucking rubbing alcohol and. But I've never like blacked out though. I've never. Well, I mean, okay,
that's nuts.
I've blacked out, but like in the most weirdest of ways. That was like so unintentional. But it's like been one time, maybe 2 times, but one time I blacked out. I was drinking those strawberry things.
Yeah.
Dude, they make me black out. I drank like 3 of them. I blacked out.
They're strong.
I walked my friend home from my house, which is 4 miles away. We walked to her house. I got her home. I'm like blackout drunk. We stop at the store on the way. I apparently almost knocked a bunch of shit over in the store. I like get to her house. I fall on the floor. Like I fall on the ground outside of her house, cracking up laughing. She thought I broke my ankle because I dropped so quick. I was like, what the fuck? I ended up going over to Dunkin' Donuts and buying a coffee. I was like, nobody's gonna know something's wrong. Like, I'm fucked up at 6 o'clock in the morning, walking around town. Go get my coffee. I walk home. I'm still so fucked up that like now the sun's coming up. Now I'm getting paranoid that the cops are gonna be like, what is this girl doing? So I'm walking so goddamn fast that I'm like, if someone was looking at me, they'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with this girl? Because I'm like power walking down the street with a coffee, just like, don't look at me, don't look at me, don't look at me. Like, I fucking get home. I wake up the next morning, and I was like, I have no fucking idea where my skeleton hoodie is. And I was like, I've got these animal crackers I've been looking for years. I was like, how the fuck did I get this? Mary was like, dude, we went into Wegmans last night when you were walking me home. I was like, what? Yeah, so that was like the one time I blacked out.
That's just nuts. It's only been like one time.
Yeah, but I had my vices just weren't drugs.
Yeah. I was just living in that state just for a long time.
Yeah.
That's a lot of black. A lot of hearing about what you did.
Yeah, and that probably has to make you feel worse. Like, did that make you want to drink more?
Nah, it's just like, that's just what I do.
You just didn't give a fuck.
None. None at all.
Yeah. that sounds like Dad.
Yeah. It's, I see where I get it.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely when they say that shit runs in the family, they're not kidding.
Yeah.
Science is right. Yeah. And like I've talked to Dad like a little bit about some stuff because like he's got like tattoos and whatnot. And he's like, and I'm like, I've got a weird relationship with pain for whatever reason, and like he's kind of like that too. So I'm like, I think I've gotten that from Dad, where it's like you have really high pain tolerance. Like I don't know, you're just into hurting yourself physically and emotionally for whatever fucking reason. Like I don't know. So I'm like, yeah, I think I got that part of Dad for sure. But yeah. Yeah, my face is all hot now. I'm like, just, ugh.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to do it.
So I guess
like always a lot to deal with.
It is a lot to deal with. Like, I mean, there's memories that I have where, like now I'm like pretty well gathered. I can kind of compartmentalize things and not be too emotional about it. But like, there are things that I remember from childhood and the emotions I had tied into them that just fucked me up so bad that it took me a really long time to get over them. And like just yesterday, I had a moment where I kind of just let my thoughts come to me about different things, and I just was like, I've got to figure out how to deal with this and just think about where I am now and just heal from the past shit. And like, dude, I remember times where for some reason the parents like would be getting into a fight. We'd be up at Crystal's house in Milton, and Dad would have like drank maybe or didn't, I don't know. And Mom would be like, oh, like we'll go to see your dad, and we would go and fight for whatever reason, and Mom would just put me in the car. I can't remember if you were with, but she'd put me in the car and she'd be like, say goodbye to your father, like we're fucking done, we're leaving, blah blah blah. And like I just have this memory of looking out the back of the car and like Dad just standing in the middle of the street, like there goes my kid. And I just remember being like, I just remember thinking like, am I ever gonna see my dad again? Like there's so many times in my life, like I remember being like, Dad's not gonna make it through this. Dad's not gonna make it through his drinking. It's like my dad's gonna die. And when Mimi passed away, I used to stay up at night because I was so scared that I was gonna die or someone else in my family was gonna die. Like I remember like laying in bed as a really small child just crying myself to sleep because I was like, I just want my dad, dude. Like
Forever.
yeah, that's been some of the hardest shit. Yeah, I mean, like as a kid, that's all you want, you know. You don't understand like why they're not there, why everything isn't okay. Like, so it makes sense as to why you were like, I'm just gonna black completely out. You were like, yep, I'm done.
I signed out. checked out. Yeah, because that's what he did. He's like, I'm out.
Yeah. It's kind of like put in your head too, because like when you're growing up, you don't realize like what any of that stuff really is or what it really means, and like the only thing that was brought to our attention is that like dad drinks alcohol, and it's like that's what you got to see him use as a tool for coping, and so it was like it's in your genetics, but we were also just exposed to it because it's there, so it's like, oh, he held on for a while doing that, so like maybe I could do that too. Like, yeah.
It's up to us.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so like, what do you think? What do you think we could end all of that on? What are the like?
Oh no, isn't that enough?
Well, I'm like, okay. How do we tie this into other people? Should we? I mean, like.
No, I don't really know, because this is just us trying to deal with us, unfortunately.
I just wasn't sure if we should find a way to like, I don't know, give advice, or I don't know.
Basically, I think it might just be if thoughts, the thoughts and everything, or how you think about things might all be related. Like, that could be maybe something people relate to, is me hearing that makes me not feel crazy.
Yeah.
Like, even though I do, it just makes me feel a lot less, because I understand that he's going through it.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's kind of what helps me. Yeah, maybe what helps us. What helps, that can be a thing. How does reading this help you?
Yeah, I think that's a good way to just kind of tie on that. Like, for me, I mean, now, reading this now it's good to see that the stuff I was struggling with and feeling, he also is feeling, and I know how I fail to connect to people, so it makes sense as to why we don't hear from him and don't have phone calls, don't really have text messages, and try sometimes, but like it just kind of helps. It just helps you kind of see him more as like a person and not just a dad. Like, his only role wasn't just to be a dad. Like, people are more than one thing, and seeing all of that also kind of shows me that I have a predisposition to struggle with all the same things, and that, you've, at some point, it's not everyone else. It, like, comes down to you and holding yourself accountable, and I could sit here and say, until I'm blue in the face, why didn't dad just be our dad? Well, why don't I just shut the fuck up and do what I need to do? So, and the only way I think, because then I think, what if people are going through the same thing, they hear this, but they don't have this notebook? They don't have, what if their parents are gone?
Like their parents.
What do they do? Yeah.
They can't do this.
Yeah.
They have no idea what their parents thought because they didn't want them.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
that's pretty fucked.
yeah.
Ours at least wanted to keep us.
Didn't always feel like that, but yeah, that's true. That's very true. God damn it.
Yeah. This stuff is. I'm glad he gave it to you. And I'm glad he wrote it.
He didn't have a choice. The shit was in jail.
I know, but I didn't write stuff like that.
Yeah. This is why, like, it is important to write stuff.
Yeah.
There was, yeah, well, I mean, do you feel like there's anything else that you need to, I don't know, like...
No. We'll just save the rest for next time.
Yeah. Yeah.